Welcome back everyone, and it's time to go My Hero Academia has dropped a banger on top of a banger. When it comes to overarching themes regarding one for all and all for one, Horikoshi doesn't miss.
This motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
Chapter 305 has revealed Deku's destiny with One for All and what he intends to do with Shigaraki at the end of his story. We learn that Deku intends to learn Naruto's most powerful jutsu. Huh? Not that one. The Talk no Jutsu. The one he used against Obito and everyone else. In chapter 305, Deku declares that he intends to save Shigaraki from All for One, as the previous holders of One for All further explain his plan for world dominance. Deku claims that he could feel everything Shigaraki did when they were in their last fight during the war. This is because One for All and All for One are interconnected within the vestige world, which allows for the two wills to clash. All for One's will is to rule the world with tyranny, as he wants to be the demon king and live on forever, whilst his brother's will is to save the world and stop him from killing the innocent. For example, in chapter 304, we learned that All for One confirmed the notion that a person's essence is hardwired into their quirk factor, which means the fragments of consciousness of a person is within their quirk. As a result of this, it allows everyone to speak to each other in One for All. In essence, they are all still technically alive within the quirk and All for One as well. This is the reason why Deku stated in chapter 305 that he could see a scared little child being used by All for One, as Shigaraki originally he wanted to be a hero, as he was inspired by his grandmother Nana Shimura. This is a similar phenomena when Naruto cried after witnessing and feeling Obito's memories, and then Naruto changed his mind to save him, as Obito originally wanted to be Hokage but was groomed by Madara, right? However, in My Hero Academia, Shigaraki wanted to be a hero, but it's All for One that's manipulating him this time round. Like, now that I think about it, every shonen seems to follow the same path. Imagine if this was real life and Naruto heard about this, what Deku was trying to do. Like, what the fuck?
Calm down, son. It's just a drawing.
Basically, chapter 305 starts with Nana Shimura asking Deku if he is willing to kill Shigaraki to check up on his intentions, as she states that every single One for All user can feel Shigaraki's pain just like Deku did. This is because every One for All user has their hearts and minds connected, so they could sense and see what Deku feels. The fifth user of One for All states that they all do not feel the same intentions as Deku. They understand that Shigaraki is hurt by All for One, but that doesn't guarantee that he wants their help. They could sense the contempt within Shigaraki's eyes that his intentions were true regarding the war that hurt countless of people. To some of the users, Deku seems way too forgiving, and they are testing his will to see if it can be broken with their honesty. All for One's brother argues that Shigaraki was raised to believe in All for One's ideology, so it cannot be completely his fault. He mentions how All for One's plan is almost complete due to being able to take over his body for himself now. This implies that All for One has had his life extended once again, but this time round he has an even stronger body than before that can handle the quirk singularity. Remember, the doctor's theory is true, mentioning that as quirks become more powerful, the body will not be able to handle the access of quirks as the hardware starts to deteriorate. So All for One's body that he currently has, he confirmed it to us himself that he cannot handle the powers that he possesses now. That's why he manipulated Shigaraki to do the experiments which he passed, and now Shigaraki's body can withhold and handle much more quirks with more powerful world-ending quirks. All for One, with his new body in Shigaraki, will be able to take One for All, because according to his younger brother, One for All's main advantage is that it's a quirk that cannot be stolen. Therefore, by cultivating and develop One for For All, it became a quirk with the sole purpose to rival All For One and be capable of destroying it. This is something that All Might almost succeeded in because he's the freaking GOAT. But All For One's tenacity to keep coming back and using Shigaraki is all part of his plan to make Deku lower his guard. Nana tells Deku that she feels guilty for forcing a child to deal with Shigaraki. He's only 16. But bitch, this is a shonen and my man's gonna become the next GOAT. But anyway, it was due to Nana neglecting her son to fight with All For One, which in turn had a knock-on effect to Shigaraki. This is because Nana's son started to hate heroes, starting the cycle of hatred which passed from her son to her grandson, due to her ditching them for that hero lifestyle and what she believed was the right thing to do in protecting them. However, in her own son's perspective, he thought, why did his own mother leave her own family and their needs for those that take her for granted? This made Shigaraki's father become abusive in regards to heroes, and he vented this frustration out on his children. Now, if Shigaraki is left to reach his potential, no one would be able to stop him in the entire world. Think about Thanos in Endgame. He will literally become the manifestation of true evil. So this is where Horikoshi, he starts smoking on some of that good shit, and he starts asking some deep ass questions, and I mean balls deep. Nana asks, are there people out there who cannot be forgiven or understood or given a chance to turn themselves around? What if Shigaraki is one of those people? Nana Shimura puts Deku in a moral dilemma, asking him if a person who looks like that wants to be saved but simply cannot be saved, will Deku be able to hold on to his will and put an end to Shigaraki at any cost? Now, to tackle this philosophy and question, I'm going to pass on the video to Yusuf, but before I go further, I would like to thank Display for sponsoring this video. This company is fire! A display is kind of like a poster, but extra quality, extra cool, and extra drip. Not only do they create amazing quality due to their great production, but every display that you buy plants a tree helping the environment. They have over 1.4 million designs to pick from, including anime, manga, comics, movies, gamings, and much more. Whatever idea you have in mind to make your room aesthetically that much better, they have it. Look at the ones I got. Bro, they are so flames. I'm so happy with the quality, and they were actually delivered real fast, which shocked me because they're custom designs. I got a One Piece poster, a Naruto poster, and much more. Obviously, you guys know why I picked these goated shows, because they have affected my life so much so, telling me that life isn't that serious and you should have a laugh. I will put my recommendations on my profile in the pinned comment. These are the ones I have myself and would recommend for you to buy. I know you're probably wondering, damn, this shit must take some time to set up too. I'm just an anime fan. I don't know how to use a hammer. Don't worry, the display posters that you receive come with a magnet mounting system to ease the process for you. Even a dumbass like me can put it on the wall and make my room even that much better. Right now, there is a sale with the discount link in the description and pinned comment below. Make sure to use it whilst you can. Alright, let's go back to the video.
Okay, so let me break this down for you lot. As we start Horikoshi's acknowledgement to our previous theory of Shigaraki having a sacrificial rectification moment, Deku hits back explaining to Nana that during the war, when Shigaraki manifested in the One For All Vestige realm, Deku was able to feel what Shigaraki was feeling, but then Deku was able to see the deepest part of Shigaraki's aspiration, feeling him to be the person he is, which was Shigaraki as a young boy crying his eyes out. This was the moment when Shigaraki felt all alone after he accidentally killed his family due to the sudden activation of his decay quirk. As we see in chapter 237, Shigaraki ran away from his house, crying looking for help, but no one actually gave him a hand or heard him out. Even when the old lady approached him to see what was wrong, after a judgmental glance, she felt it was not her place to aid him. Rather, a hero or a police officer should take that role. However, even they didn't come. Shigaraki as a child went through a huge mental trauma, along with his physical agitation of constantly feeling itchy. He even went on to say, if only then anyone had reached out to help, then maybe the itch would have been gone for good. At the lowest point of his life, All For One made his scene to groom this broken boy to the mentally deranged leader of the League of Villains. Deku then told Nana that after fighting many villains, he never really had the opportunity to explore their motivation and pinpoint why they became the way they did. And if Deku had taken the time to understand them, then maybe maybe things might have ended differently. Maybe the fights could have been resolved, leading to less injured people and death. With this newfound perspective and understanding, Deku states the power of one for all isn't to kill, but to save. As he says this, we see a child Deku approaching a crying child Shigaraki with his little dog, illustrating how Deku has evolved from a simple hero who just saves civilians, but now he will try to save everyone, including the villains. They are human too, you know, who are just broken souls due to the sad, tragic, unfortunate upbringing, possibly leading them to acquire many personality disorders. Deku comes to acknowledge the pain that Shigaraki is in, and lets everyone in the Westage realm know that the purpose of One for All power was initially to stop All for One, but after all of the users, including All Might, cultivated the power, the purpose has now changed and morphed over all this time. Its new purpose is to save everyone. Now hold up, wait a minute. A lot of you guys might be thinking that Shigaraki, even as a child, was evil and doesn't deserve saving. Like Shigaraki in chapter 236 mentioned how he wanted to kill his own father, and later in 237 how he wanted to kill those two thugs who bothered him. However, when we look at things in context, we will come to learn that Shigaraki went through a series of abuse from his father, who not only physically abused him, but belittled his dream of being a hero in a world where it's not only common, but praised. What I'm trying to say is that even before Shigaraki gained the power of decay, he was mentally on the edge of feeling all alone, even within his own household. So after accidentally killing his dog, the only friend he probably had, and then his sister, then his mother, Shigaraki probably lost himself completely in madness. But what broke this camel's back was when he tried to apologize to his father as this uncontrollable massacre occurred. His own dad smacked him on the head with a freaking gardening tool. But coming to the other two thugs, at this point, All for One already gave him his speech on the fabrication of morality, corrupting Shigaraki's mind further, who was at such a vulnerable state. Lastly, there is also this itch and drive that pushes Shigaraki to insanity, wanting him to express it in murder. I still hold the theory that Shigaraki was given decay by All for One, and once Shigaraki finds this out, the next course of action will be him sacrificing his life trying to stop All for One. Regardless of if it fails or actually succeeds, Shigaraki will be saved by his final actions in life. Now, I don't like making comparisons, but as Adil mentioned earlier, this is quite similar to Naruto's Talk no Jutsu and breaking the cycle of hatred, which Naruto started by not taking revenge on Pain, who literally killed everyone in Konoha. But just to clarify, I'm not comparing Pain with Shigaraki, but Deku's new outlook with Naruto's. Again, I ain't saying that Shigaraki deserves to be forgiven for his actions, but maybe he does deserve to be given a chance to be heard and the opportunity to rectify himself. This goes back to the interview with Horikoshi, where he mentioned that Shigaraki at this point is beyond redemption, but he did not mention anything about rectification, or if Deku can save him, or if he will be saved before he dies. So chapter 305 continues with the first user reassuring Deku that they will all keep guiding him on his journey to face Shigaraki, just as how they have been doing since the beginning. Nana Shimura starts bawling her eyes out, telling Deku he passed the test of her asking him whether he will kill Shigaraki. And of course, in the typical shonen protagonist fashion, Deku said no, cementing his philosophy of heroism and the will to save others. And after all of this, the first user looks behind him to those mysterious second and third users of One for All and asks them to chime into the conversation. And just from the looks of this, there is a theory in the community about the second user, which we have only seen silhouette of, is none other than Bakugo from the future. Just look at the arms of the second user and Bakugo's, like fam, it all lines up perfectly. Those legit looks like Bakugo's gauntlet, which was specifically designed by the support group in the future. And plus, that's not the only thing we have now though. Looking at the back of the second user's head, it has quite a striking resemblance to Bakugo's head and hair. We all saw what Eri could do, like controlling her powers and rewinding Mirio to his former self. She is progressing with her quirk at an astonishing rate. According to the theory, she might awaken the quirk to the point of rewinding a person, Bakugo in this case, back in time, which will lead him to initiate and tell the first user about his transference power, starting the chain of reaction to the present. We actually covered this in great detail in a separate video. You all think I'm on some good shit about right now, but come on, go ahead, watch that video and let me know what you guys think. It's just the anime theory at the end. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, ding that notification bell. Till then, I will catch you till next time.